Hey guys, John Crowley from UTV Guide. Wanted to give you a quick update on our Polaris Expedition. So we purchased a two-seat Polaris Expedition ADV. So the ADV means it's got the back area enclosed pretty much like an SUV. This is a two-seat. Reminds me a lot of a Bronco 2 from back in the day. It's a pretty short wheelbase, very nimble, turning radius is great. Once you start getting up to high speeds though, it feels like it could be a little tippy. We may end up putting long travel on it to help stabilize things at high speeds, but so far pretty impressed with this. So this is a NorthStar unit. So with that comes with HVAC. The enclosed cab is decent, but you still do get some dust inside. It's a little dirty here. We just went on a 70-mile ride in Gold Butte, but you can kind of see it's dusty in here a little bit. So this cab does not seal as well as the Ranger 1500 we did a demo on. It does a fairly good job, but you definitely still get some dust in here. The other thing I noticed is the cooling on this isn't as fantastic as I would have hoped. You do turn that on with a button here to get cool. I did find that running the fan at a little bit of a speed at all times, if I'm following somebody, that helps kind of pressurize the cab a little bit and keep the dust out somewhat. So noise level is a little bit higher than I would have liked. The Ranger 1500 is definitely a quieter engine transmission setup, and I would love to see that sort of noise level come back into the Polaris Expedition. It's probably my biggest complaint so far with this unit is the noise level. So we've kind of already started a phase one buildup on this with a few essentials and a couple other things that maybe aren't essential, but they're kind of nice. One you see right here, this is a Viper gated shifter, which is kind of nice. So you can keep yourself between reverse and low without shifting to high or park. If you're doing rock crawling or anything, this isn't going to be primarily a rock crawler for us, but we will do some things in the rocks, and it's nice to have that. Now behind that is one of the key things we want. This is going to be kind of a adventure rig for us, so communications are key. We've got rugged radios, M1 radio in here, and Intercom with a remote head. Now a lot of guys that do communications in their expeditions just do a radio and a handheld mic and then add a remote speaker on that so you can hear. I wanted to go ahead and add the intercom, and again, this is with a remote head, so the unit itself is tucked back behind the dash here. I wanted to do that so if I'm traveling with my wife and we want to talk, we can wear either helmets or a headset and block out all the engine noise in here and be able to talk freely without having to have all that noise and yelling back and forth. It just makes it nice to be able to communicate. One other thing we've got here is a turn signal kit. Now I bought this unit from Moto United in St. George, and they put this on the unit for us. It's a pretty simple setup with a turn signal and horn, and you can do flashers on that as well. It does also have kind of added turn signal lights up front, which is kind of nice. Nothing fancy there. One other thing, since we do live so close to Sand Hollow, is we wanted to have some whip flags. These look really short, but that's 8 feet tall up there. Pretty short whips. These are by Mega Whips, and this is one of the only ways I've found to be able to bolt on easily without drilling a hole in your roof, whip flags. So that's from Viper Machine as well. Same guys that made the shifter. So if you've got an Expedition, this will work on a 2-seat or a 4-seat ADV. So the radio install, the shifters, and whip lights, I went to UTV Pros here in Hurricane, and they did that whole install for me. I just didn't have time, and I didn't feel like tearing apart a whole dash and everything to get to that. They've done several of these Expeditions, so they made that a lot easier on me, and they did a great job on the install. One other thing we did here is we added some bigger tires and wheels. Now this is a 33-inch RC500 from System 3, and it's on a System 3 beadlock wheel as well. Now the offset is a little bit wider. It makes the vehicle a little bit wider than the stock wheels, so that's kind of nice, because as I mentioned, at high speeds it feels a little tippy. So we probably added another 2 inches to the width on this. So one nice thing is we don't have any interference problems with a 33-inch tire, so hats off to Polaris. This unit comes with a 30-inch tire and a 33 fits without any rubbing so far that we've seen. So that's nice to be able to upsize. Polaris Expedition does come with a 5-lug, so if you're wondering about that, it's the same as a Pro R or the Ranger 1500. All right, so for future upgrades, I mentioned long travel. We'll probably end up doing that to give us some more stability and ability to handle rougher terrain with this. So far, the shocks work really well on this. Pretty happy with the Fox shocks that come with this. Those are QS3s from Fox. But other than that, we will probably add some foam inserts. There's some cool products out now that you can add on the tailgate, the bed sides, another piece that goes on top of the factory mat, and then do some floor mats up front. There's all kinds of other ones you can do on your dash and side doors, everything. I don't know if that I'll go that hog wild, but definitely want to do that. One other thing is I'm not always going to carry a spare tire, but on some adventure rides where we're out in the boonies, I'm going to bring a spare. And what I would like to do is add another layer here with a shelf where I could keep the spare tire down here, and then with a shelf add storage up on top. I haven't found anything that's readily available yet, but we're still looking. If anybody knows of anything out there, let us know. One other thing I'd like to do is add some tint, at least to the back windows, probably a little bit on the side windows as well, just to help when it's really hot in Utah, be able to keep some of that heat out. Up front, definitely thinking about a bumper. Not that this bumper is bad, but I would like to add a little bit more light output on this vehicle, and that's kind of the best place that I think we could put it. This bumper just it's not conducive to adding lights. You can do it, but it just looks like it's not a factory look. So couple different bumpers out there. I saw one at the Salt Lake Expo from DRT that looks pretty good, so might go that route. Another thing I haven't figured out yet is if we go long travel, couple things I'll need. One is to upgrade shock package, probably spring work. So need to decide if I'm going to keep these Fox shocks and go with shock therapy and add a spring kit and some valving, or I can go with SDI. Makes e-click setup for the Expedition as well. That seems pretty slick. I'll need to do tie rods for it. That'll probably come from shock therapy. And then depending on the package I get for long travel, I'll need to do some axles. I've had a few people tell me I'm getting soft doing HVAC in an enclosed vehicle, and you know what, I might be, but what's really nice about this is you can go on a ride and not really care what the weather looks like. I did a ride the other day and I didn't even look at the weather to see what it looked like, and it can be kind of chilly in the mornings. It doesn't matter. You turn the heat on if it's cold, turn the AC on if it's hot. And also these are nice for you know, if you're going on a trail ride and it's dusty, being able to have an enclosed cab that keeps most of the dust out is huge. So I'm looking forward to doing some high altitude rides up in the summer, and you know, farther up northern Utah where it's super dusty, but this is going to be a great rig to be able to do that in. And then also just in general, going on rides in the summer here, it's damn hot. So yeah, I guess I'm soft.